let's get right to it. So we got 20 shocking secrets of Power Rangers Mighty Morphin. Let's see what they talking about. Let me turn my volume up.
Have you ever wondered what lurks behind the masks of our favorite Power Rangers? Dive into the untold, the unseen, and the shocking secrets of the Power Rangers Mighty Morphin. Ready to morph into the world of unexpected tales? Let's get into the stories that shaped the legend. Number 1. The Unexpected Ban in Malaysia. When Power Rangers Mighty Morphin made its debut, it was poised to conquer hearts worldwide. Yet in Malaysia, the show had faced an unforeseen hurdle. The word morphin stirred controversy, fearing to be linked with morphine, a powerful and addictive drug. Authorities were on edge, concerned that children may associate the hero's morphing abilities with drug use, and in response the show was initially banned, a decision that had left fans bewildered and disappointed. The producers were determined not to let this setback dim the Power Rangers' shine. In a move that demonstrated adaptability and respect, they agreed to compromise. The title would be altered with Morphin removed to dispel any unintended associations. This resolution would allow the Power Rangers to finally make their mark in Malaysia, bringing joy and excitement to countless fans. It was a testament to the universal appeal of the show and its ability to transcend cultural barriers, albeit with a slight tweak.
Congratulations on a job well done.
Number 2. The Tragic Loss of Thuy Trang. In the kaleidoscope of colorful characters that the show brought to life, Thuy Trang, the original Yellow Ranger, holds a special place. Her portrayal of Trini Kwan was not only a role, it was a beacon of inspiration, showcasing strength, grace, and the power of friendship. Her tragic passing in a car accident in 2001 left a void in the hearts of fans and cast members alike, a reminder of the fragility of life.
The 27-year-old actress died in a car accident near San Francisco during the Labor Day weekend.
In a touching tribute to her memory, the Power Rangers Time Force episode, Circuit Unsure, was dedicated to her. This gesture went beyond the bounds of the screen, uniting the Power Rangers community in mourning and remembrance. It was an acknowledgement of her contribution to the series and her legacy as a beloved figure in the Power Rangers saga. Her spirit, much like the character she played, continues to inspire resilience and camaraderie amongst fans and beyond. Number 3. Budget constraints and near accidents. The show may have dazzled audiences with its dynamic battles and vibrant Zords, but behind the scenes the show navigated a labyrinth of budget constraints that often led to hair-raising compromises, especially when it came to safety. The shoestring budget was evident in everything from the costumes to the special effects, demanding creativity and resourcefulness from the crew. This fiscal frugality, however, sometimes placed the cast in a precarious situation. One notable incident occurred during the filming of Switching Places, an episode where characters Billy and Kimberly experience a mind-swapping debacle. The scene required pyrotechnics, which under normal circumstance would be subject to rigorous safety checks, but the budget limitations meant that such testing was minimal, which led to a near miss that could have resulted in serious injury. The actors found themselves in a situation where the thrill of the special effects almost turned into a real-life danger, underscoring the constant balancing act between creating exciting television while ensuring the safety of everyone involved. Number 4. Rita Repulsa's darker Japanese backstory. Rita Repulsa, the iconic antagonist of the show, is known for her flamboyant villainy and comedic wrath. However, her character's origins are in a Japanese series where she's known as Witch Bandora, and the character offers a contrast to her American counterpart. In the Japanese version, Bandora's vendetta against the Earth's defenders is rooted in profound loss. Her backstory reveals a mother driven to despair by the death of her son at the hands of a dinosaur. This grief transforms into vengeance, leading her to sell her soul for magical powers in her quest against her enemies, whom she holds responsible for her pain. This dark narrative is a far cry from Rita's more one-dimensional portrayal as a conqueror, highlighting the depth and complexity of her character in the original series. The transition from Bandora to Rita for the American adaptation involves softening these darker themes in order to align with the show's tone, aiming it at a younger audience. The result is a villain who, while still menacing, often veers into the realm of the comical, with her schemes and tantrums providing as much amusement as they did peril for the Power Rangers. Number 5. Overwhelming fame and its consequences. The meteoric rise of the show not only transformed its characters into household names, but also catapulted the cast into the limelight, a shift that was both exhilarating and overwhelming. The actors were relatively unknown before the show and suddenly found themselves at the center of a pop culture phenomenon. This newfound fame, however, came with its own set of challenges, particularly for Austin St. John, who played Jason Lee Scott, the Red Ranger. St. John's portrayal of the team's leader won him legions of fans, but the intensity of the adoration was something for which he was unprepared. Admirers would gather outside of his home, hoping to catch a glimpse of their hero in the flesh, which blurred the lines between his on-screen persona and his personal life. The situation escalated to the point where he had to move houses not once but twice, seeking privacy and a semblance of normalcy amidst the frenzy. Number 6. The rigors of a tight filming schedule.
Sense that I had 8 callbacks total over basically a month, a little over a month.
The behind-the-scenes world of the show would be characterized by a grueling filming schedule that tested the limits of its cast and crew. The show's immediate and overwhelming success meant that episodes were in constant demand, placing pressure on the production team to deliver new content rapidly. This relentless pace had significant implications for their personal lives, and they had found themselves ensnared in a whirlwind of work commitments. The tight schedule meant long days on the set, often extending into the weekend, leaving very little room for rest or personal time. They frequently slept at each other's houses to save on commute and ensured that they could be on set for the earliest call times.
Months in Australia making a movie, and I guess I just felt like I'm just working, doing my job.
This camaraderie was a silver lining, fostering a family-like bond amongst the cast, but also showing the sacrifices made in the name of entertainment. One illustration of the schedule's demands came in the aftermath of the 1994 Northridge earthquake. Despite the chaos and devastation, the actors who played the Yellow and Pink Rangers reported to work only hours after the quake. Number 7. From rejection to immediate success. The road to success for the show would be fraught with skepticism and rejection, as its creator faced doors slammed in his face for 7 long years. The idea of adapting a Japanese superhero show for American audiences would be novel, yet it struggled to find a home. Networks became hesitant, unable to see the potential that the creator saw in the colorful costumes, moral lessons, and high-energy action sequences. However, his conviction in the project was unshakable. He believed in the universal appeal of the story, a group of ordinary teenagers who were empowered to save the world, and the engaging way that it mixed live action with special effects. His perseverance would pay off when Margaret Loesch, then president of Fox Children's Network, took a chance. Loesch recognized the unique blending of action, humor, and heart, and greenlit the project, setting the stage for what would become a defining element of 90s pop culture. Number 8. Parental concerns and censorship. As the show ascended to global popularity, it found itself embroiled in controversies that tested its resilience. The action-packed sequences, central to the show's appeal, became points of contention, sparking debates over the impact of televised violence on young viewers. Parents and advocacy groups raised concerns, arguing that the show's portrayal of combat, albeit fantastical, could encourage aggression in children. These concerns were not only limited to discussions, they had tangible impacts on the show's broadcast. In some countries, the backlash led to Power Rangers being pulled off the air. Norway, for example, ceased broadcasting the show following an incident where children were reportedly imitating the Rangers' moves, which led to injury. Similarly, New Zealand faced a national debate over the appropriateness for young audiences, culminating in its temporary removal from television schedules. These actions underscored the varying cultural thresholds for on-screen violence and the global challenge of balancing creative expression with social responsibility. Number 9. David Fielding's one-day work as Zordon. The creation of Zordon, the wise and powerful mentor of the Power Rangers, is a remarkable story of ingenuity and efficiency in the face of production constraint. David Fielding, the actor behind Zordon's iconic floating head,
The Sword of Light will allow your powers to be transferred to 3 new Rangers.
accomplished the remarkable feat of filming all of his scenes in one single marathon day. The intense schedule would be required in the early days of the show, where budget and time were often in short supply. His portrayal involved sitting still for hours on end, a challenge within itself, as his face was filmed from multiple angles to capture the full range of expressions that were needed for Zordon's guidance throughout the series. The process was both physically and mentally demanding, requiring him to convey a sense of timeless wisdom and authority through facial expressions alone. Once filmed, these images were then superimposed onto the tube-like structure that became his interdimensional portal, creating the illusion of a disembodied head. Number 10. The Altered Love Story of Kimberly and Skull. In a surprising twist that never made it to the screen, the writers of the show had once envisioned a future where Kimberly, the Pink Ranger, and Skull, one of the notorious bullies, would end up being married. This scrap storyline proposed a dramatic departure from the characters' initial dynamics, suggesting an unexpected depth to Skull's character and a complex evolving relationship between the two.
Ball and Skull.
Hi, girls.
The idea would be bold and aiming to subvert audience expectation while adding layers to the show's narrative. It hinted at themes of redemption and the idea that people can change over time, breaking away from the simplistic good versus evil dichotomy. The storyline would have offered a nuanced exploration of character development, showcasing just how even the most unlikely individuals can find common ground and grow closer. However, the production team ultimately decided against this narrative arc. The reasons were multifaceted. It ranged from concerns about how the relationship would be received by a young audience to the practicalities of aligning the storyline with the overarching themes of teamwork and friendship. Instead, it continued to focus on the more straightforward dynamics of heroism and rivalry, leaving the romance as a fascinating what could have been. Number 11. Uncredited Japanese footage and its implications. The show is renowned for its seamless integration of high-octane action sequences, a feat that's achieved by incorporating footage from its Japanese predecessor. This innovative approach allowed for the depiction of elaborate battles and monster fights that would have been prohibitively expensive to produce from scratch. However, this reliance on the footage came with its own set of challenge and implications, particularly concerning the American cast's involvement in the show's action scenes. The use of the Japanese show's footage meant that much of the action was performed by the original Japanese actors and stunt performers, with the American actors primarily involved in non-costume scenes. This created a unique production dynamic where the physical portrayals of the Rangers during battle were largely the work of their Japanese counterparts, while the American actors provided the character depth and narrative engagement in civilian scenes. This division of labor was not widely publicized and led to a somewhat obscured understanding of the American cast's contributions to the show's action elements. Number 12. Rita Repulsa's voice, a dubbing challenge. Barbara Goodson was the voice of Rita Repulsa, the formidable villain on the show, and initially she faced the daunting task of giving voice to a character whose physical portrayal was already defined by another actress. The challenge was to create a voice that could match Rita's over-the-top villainy and visually striking appearance.
If I knew that, do you think I'd be lying here listening to this?
Ensuring that the character's dubbed English lines would resonate with the show's audience. Her initial attempts at voicing Rita would be met with feedback that was not quite capturing the essence of the character's malevolence. The producers sought a voice that could embody Rita's wickedness while also fitting the exaggerated and theatrical nature of the show. This would lead Goodson to experiment with various pitches and tones.
My advice to you, Divatox, run!
Ranging from deep and menacing to high and screechy, in an effort to find the perfect match for Rita's on-screen persona. Number 13. Original pilot and its differences. Before the show became the cultural touchstone it is today, it underwent significant transformations from its original unaired pilot to the version that would captivate audiences worldwide. This pilot, a rough blueprint of the show's potential, showcased several key differences that highlight the creative evolution of the series. One of the most notable changes was in the casting of the Yellow Ranger. In the pilot, the character of Trini would be portrayed by a different actress rather than Thuy Trang, who would later become synonymous with the role.
And special congratulations to you, Trini, for overcoming your fear in the face of an emergency.
This change would be pivotal, not only in terms of the character's portrayal, but also in solidifying the dynamic amongst the core group of Rangers. Another significant alteration was the character of Billy, the Blue Ranger. In the pilot, Billy's character was named Billy Cranston, a nod to the late musician of Bryan Cranston, who would later gain fame for other roles and even contribute voices to the series.
I always did the monsters and things. You will not escape me.
The pilot would experiment with different character backgrounds and plot elements, tweaking the balance between teenage drama and superhero action to better suit a target audience. Number 14. Stunt injuries and on-set safety. The high-flying kicks and dramatic battles of the show were not without their real-world risks, as the cast and stunt performers navigated the physical demands of bringing the show's action to life. Despite the choreographed precision, accidents and injuries were an unfortunate reality, underscoring the inherent dangers of stunt work. The commitment to authenticity in the action sequences
Action!
meant that the actors and stunt team would frequently find themselves in situations that tested the limits of their physical capabilities, sometimes resulting in injury. One notable incident involved Jason David Frank, who had played Tommy, the Green Ranger. Frank was a skilled martial artist and performed many of his own stunts, but the intensity of the action sequences occasionally led to mishaps. In one instance, a misjudged kick would land him in a brief visit to the emergency room, though he was quickly back on set, demonstrating the cast's dedication to the show. Number 15. Amy Jo Johnson's fear of heights. Amy Jo Johnson was beloved by fans as Kimberly Hart, the Pink Ranger, and brought a grace and agility to her role that embodied the character's spirit with apparent ease. However, behind the scenes, she faced a personal challenge that had contradicted the fearless persona, a profound fear of heights. This phobia was far from being an insignificant obstacle. It had tangible implications for the filming of the show, especially in scenes requiring aerial stunts or elevated platforms. The production team, aware of her fears, had to navigate this challenge with sensitivity and creativity, and for scenes that involved heights, which were essential to the action-packed narrative of the series, adjustments had to be made for her to be accommodated. Innovative camera angles and careful editing were employed to give the illusion of her performing at dizzying heights, even when alternate methods were used to ensure her comfort and safety. Number 16. The evolution of Zords. The Zords are colossal mechanical beasts that the Power Rangers pilot in their battles against towering villains and are a cornerstone of the franchise's appeal. Initially, the creators had envisioned a different direction for these machines, considering mythical creatures as the inspiration for the Zords rather than the prehistoric animals that fans have come to know and love. The initial idea would be rooted in the desire to tap into a rich tapestry of global mythology, offering a diverse and fantastical array of Zords that would appeal to the imagination of its audience. However, through the development process, the concept evolved to feature prehistoric animals as the basis for the Zords. This shift would be driven by several factors, including thematic resonance of dinosaurs and other prehistoric creatures with the show's target demographic. Dinosaurs, universally recognized and inherently fascinating to children, offer a connection point that mythical creatures could not guarantee. Moreover, the decision to use prehistoric animals aligned better with the footage that was available from the Japanese version, the version of which the Power Rangers adapted much of its action sequences. Number 17. Jason David Frank's martial arts influence. Jason David Frank, who brought to life Tommy Oliver, first as the Green Ranger and then the White Ranger, was not only an actor, but a highly skilled martial artist, a fact that had a profound impact on the show.
My name is Jason David Frank. Some of you guys might know me as the Green Ranger, White Ranger, Red Ranger, Black Ranger.
His background in martial arts did not only inform his portrayal of Tommy, it significantly influenced the show's fight choreography, introducing a level of authenticity and complexity that became a hallmark of his character's battle scenes. His expertise would allow for more ambitious and intricate fight sequences, as he would be capable of performing a wide range of stunts and martial arts techniques himself. This capability led to the show's producers and choreographers designing action sequences that took full advantage of his skills.
Something's happening.
Are you okay?
While setting a high bar for martial arts representation. His involvement often meant that fight scenes were not only about showcasing the might, but also about highlighting martial arts discipline and technique. Number 18. Austin St. John's surprising return. Austin St. John's career with the Power Rangers franchise mirrors the dramatic arcs that are found within the show itself. St. John originated the role of Jason Lee Scott, the Red Ranger, and later the Gold Ranger in Power Rangers Zeo, initially left the series amidst its booming success. His departure was felt deeply by the fans who had grown attached to his leadership and valor. The reasons behind his exit from the show would be complex, involving contract disputes and a desire to explore other opportunities. However, his story with the Power Rangers would be far from over. In a turn of events that delighted fans, he made a surprising return to the franchise in Power Rangers Wild Force for the special anniversary episode Forever Red. This united the Red Ranger from various generations. His return would be a powerful moment for fans and cast members alike, symbolizing the enduring legacy of the original series and its characters. Number 19. Costume Challenges and Mishaps. The iconic costumes of the show are etched into the memory of its audience, embodying the essence of each character's power and spirit. However, these costumes, while visually striking, present a myriad of challenge for the actors who wore them. The original suits would be designed for their aesthetic appeal rather than functionality, and this led to difficulties in mobility and visibility that significantly affected the performers' ability to execute their roles.
1, 2, 3.
The tight spandex-based material of the costumes had restricted movement, making the intricate martial arts sequences and stunt work even more challenging to perform. Actors would often struggle to execute the dynamic kicks and flips that the show sequences demanded, leading to a higher risk of injury and mishaps on the set. Additionally, the helmets, crucial for concealing their identity, were equipped with visors that limited their visibility. This restriction made it difficult for the actors to see their surroundings clearly, complicating choreography and scene interaction. Number 20. Walter Jones's Hidden Disability. Walter Jones is known for his role as Zach Taylor, the original Black Ranger, and he brought an infectious energy and acrobatic flair to the character that made him a fan favorite. However, unknown to many viewers, he faced a personal challenge that he skillfully concealed on screen: the absence of his middle finger. This aspect of Jones's physical appearance was never addressed on the show, nor did it hinder his dynamic portrayal of Zach. The production team and Jones himself took careful measures to ensure that his missing finger was not visible in a way that would be distracting from his character's story or the action of the series. This often involves strategic positioning of his hands both in and out of costume, and mindful choreography that emphasized his strengths rather than drawing attention to his disability. His ability to perform complex dance moves and martial arts sequences without drawing attention to his hand was amazing. What did you think of this video? Be sure to leave your comments down below, and also make sure you're subscribed so you never miss a video.
I bet he's older now, so we don't even notice it. But where do you put your ring at? If you got 5 rings, do you put it? Never mind. Thank y'all for watching. I'm gonna see